I convinced 3 of the biggest YouTube Shorts creators to tell me exactly how much money they make. You've made 100K in a month posting YouTube Shorts.
Yeah, that was my best month.
Yeah. I also got them to leak the best strategies they use to generate thousands of dollars a month. And by the end of this video, you'll have a foolproof blueprint that you'll be able to use to make thousands of dollars with YouTube Shorts. First, I'm going to leak some of my own channels just so you understand how crazy some of these numbers are. In 2022, I started Slam Dunk, which is one of the most successful YouTube Shorts channels I've ever ran. We grew it to over 1 million subscribers in 6 months, getting tens of millions of views a day on an average video. And at our peak, we made just $6,000 in a month. Now that might sound decent, but for how many views we actually got, that is a fraction of what an average YouTube Shorts channel makes. Now the difference is that we started 3 years ago when YouTube Shorts barely made any money. But in 2025, you can make way more for way less views. Take my channel Verusi, for example, that I started as a side project for another one of my YouTube videos. This channel averaged a couple million views a day, which compared to Slam Dunk was nothing. But in the first week and a half of launching it, we made over $3,000. Because from 2022 to 2025, YouTube went from paying around 5 or 6 cents per 1,000 views to over 25. That's over 5 times what you would have made. Just imagine what Slam Dunk would be making today if we had continued uploading and innovating on that channel. Actually, I don't want to think about that. Point is, YouTube rewards consistency, and that's exactly what the first person I interviewed put above all else. Just 6 months, Tim grew his channel to over 800,000 subscribers, and pretty much let me in on every single one of his secrets. My most popular channel is a 3D animation channel. We are creating shorts similar to Zaki films, and we specifically chose war documentaries. So most of our videos are about wars, heroes, different kind of guns and kind of stuff, because it targets specifically male audience, which is probably the highest paying audience on YouTube. How's the channel doing at the moment? It's doing pretty well, because in June we basically got like 700 million views plus, and it was our most successful month. Yeah, we did like 1.4 billion views, and like June by far was like the most successful. Just take a look at that chart. In February of this month, Tim was making literally $0, but in June he made over $40,000. That's in just 1 month. For context, that's more than the average yearly salary in the United States, all from making 30 to 60-second videos on a platform. That's sick, bro. So in 5 months, you've already started a channel that's doing over like $40,000, $50,000 a month now. Yeah, Tim even showed me that in just 1 day, he made over 3 grand. But his entire operation is calculated because he makes videos on war, guns, and the military, which might seem super random at first, but it's for a very specific reason. So how do you think your audience or demographic has affected your RPM? Do you target certain people, or how do you kind of think of this as a whole for your channel? It's one of the biggest reasons why I so consistently post about the Vietnam War, the US soldiers specifically, because I figured the more you talk about a specific audience, like the more people like that you attract. So we had a couple of videos about like African soldiers, and the RPM will honestly trash on those videos, and that's why we kind of stopped doing that. Our best videos are probably reaching like 0.3 RPM if those videos are targeting the US audience specifically. RPM on YouTube is actually decided by a bunch of different things, but it pretty much boils down to 2 main ones: watch time and demographic. Watch time is pretty simple. The longer people watch your videos for, the more YouTube pays you for it. That's why if you go out there and make a 2-hour documentary, you are going to get paid significantly more than a 60-second short. But demographic is slightly more nuanced. Put simply, on average, people in the USA have more money than people in India. Shocker, right? But what that means is that they actually have way more money to spend on whatever products these companies advertise. This now means that these advertisers are willing to pay a lot more for people who are from these first world countries like the US, UK, Canada, rather than people who watch from places that they can't afford. This is what takes your RPM from like 5 to 10 cents to over 30 cents sometimes if you do it right. The biggest edge Tim has as well is how deep he dives into his analytics to gain a competitive advantage over every other person posting similar content. And what I also found is that talking about Germans increase our RPM a lot. So yeah, now we are specifically choosing stories from the Vietnam War, as I said, and we talk about the Nazis and Germans during the Second World War. These videos on average get way better RPMs than videos about any other wars and conflicts. Yeah. This is the difference between having a small side hustle channel and a 1 million subscriber money printer. He sees what he does as a business, and that's why he makes so much money. Creating viral content is one thing, but creating viral content consistently is another thing. And I really consider it as a business. So you have to figure out what works and kind of see the viral patterns. And you have to repeat your best videos again and again and again until they kind of stop working. I'm trying to build it as consistent as possible. So I don't really like the ups of YouTube, and I don't really like the downs of YouTube. So I'm just trying to run it as consistent as possible. If it's 2K a day, like then give me my 2K a day consistently, like 30 days a month. That's all I want. I actually noticed this myself on another channel I ran called Simply How. When I was giving this my full attention, uploading daily, building teams, and putting all of my focus, the channel was printing, making over $600 a day at its peak. But as I started to get busy with other projects, quite frankly, it just died. But if someone like Tim was running that to this day, I honestly believe it would be doing over 6 figures per month. Spending hours a day grinding behind a screen, though, can get tiring. You can have all the money in the world, but you're just not having fun. So what's the point? Well, a student in my YouTube Shorts program called Landon actually had a solution to this. What niche are you biggest in right now? My biggest channel is a lifestyle niche. Unlike most people in the YouTube Shorts program, I post like actual videos of my life and myself instead of faceless channels. Just because I found it works better for me and I like it. I'm able to just do fun
stuff and record it. Landon makes some of the most entertaining content I've seen on YouTube Shorts. He literally goes outside, which is something barely any YouTube Shorts creators do, and makes content about having fun with his boys. It is quite literally that simple. Recently, he posted a series about a road trip he did, but he's even just posted videos of himself grocery shopping or running track. And don't think for a second that he's not printing whilst doing all of this.
My best month so far was last month or like a month and a half ago. It was like around 20 grand in a month. It's so weird because I was dreaming of that, but my goal at the beginning of 2025 or going into 2025 was to make $1,000.
Oh wow, holy.
So just blew that out of the water.
What's the RPM on your Shorts lifestyle channel?
So it depends on how many views the video gets. Obviously, as it gets pushed out more, the RPM lowers around like 30 cents, which is pretty crazy from what I've heard.
Insane, bro. 30 cents straight from AdSense for lifestyle videos. Holy. Because of his unique style of content, Landon gets crazy viewers from the US, meaning his RPM is one of the highest I have ever seen. The best thing about his channel as well is that he has potential for brand deals and sponsorships, which a lot of faceless content can't do. People trust other people. And when Landon is posting videos of himself going out in the world and doing cool, not only can he make money from YouTube, but real brands that have real products can throw him a nice bag on the side to keep him going. And while speaking to him, he came up with a theory that he thinks his channel is getting pushed more than the average one. And this is why I think there's also something behind the scenes.
YouTube is promoting less of just like the AI slap, because there's a lot of that. Yeah. And so I think that there's something to do with that. There's something that's not just statistics. There's more to a video than just the statistics, in my opinion.
I think the big thing with his channel as a whole is that he's so unique that people gravitate towards content they don't usually get to see. If there's 5 apples on a shelf and 100 oranges, there is a very high chance you're going for what's more scarce. And I think that perfectly sums up Landon's content. And he's slowly building an empire using this method. What's your best success story across your channel that you're running right now?
Having a video, I think that pops off a lot for me. I'm not even going to lie. I don't know how many views it's had right now. Last time I checked, I think was like 40 mil. Like I tried something new, completely different that I've never seen anybody do before, where I wore like the Meta Ray-Bans in a track race for my school. I saw other people do it, but nobody added a voiceover. So it was only reaching the track audience. And I figured I could reach the entirety, like of everybody, if I added an interesting voiceover that could appeal to people that don't run track. And yeah, it went crazy. And then I saw a ton of other people start doing the same things and actually like copying my scripts, which was cool. But not as big of an empire as the next person I talked to. This guy is actually on another level. What do you think the most you've ever made in a month posting YouTube Shorts has been? 100K. Damn, I'm pretty sure Bolt is the next up and coming of YouTube. In 1 year, he's grown his channel from nothing to over 2 million subscribers. But what's more impressive is the absolute gems he dropped to me while speaking to him. This stuff might genuinely change how you view YouTube entirely, because I kinda had to sit back, close my phone, and think for a couple of minutes after our call. I run my channel, I guess, in the motivation niche, but really I just make whatever content I want, bro. I'm just trying to make positive videos to inspire people. You just wanted to make some banger videos to help people, and then it just started printing you money, and I guess helping you out in the career long term, that's fire. Yeah. I just want to say real quick, like I haven't made a bunch of channels, like Bolt is my only channel. And so like before I make other channels, I got to perfect this one. Your strategy is pretty much like how I do in business. You're just going all in on one channel and making it as big as possible. Because like everybody at the highest level of every business says this, it's like one thing is going to get you exponentially further than 10 things that can turn into a brand, that can turn into just something more impactful. You know what I'm trying to say? Yeah, facts, bro. And you'll see like the goal with this is really like being a brand, being a media company. But you know, we're a couple years away from that for sure, but that's sick. Bolt's idea is to hyper-focus on one brand, one thing that he could put all his effort on to grow into something massive. You know what else is mass? People are used to running dozens of channels at once, which don't get me wrong, can print you a lot of money, but it's never going to grow into something generational that could actually make you millions, if not hundreds of millions of dollars down the line, which is something that Bolt is actively thinking about with this channel. And you might be thinking, Dan, it's just a short channel. How could this be a global brand? Well, literally 2 months into creating content, Bolt got one of the sickest opportunities, which just shows you how much potential this business model really has. So about 2 months into making shorts, I just randomly made this Karate Kid edit and it blew up 20 million views. And then over a year later, I get an email one day and it's from like Sony. And I didn't believe it at all. I had to like triple check it was actually them, but it ended up being them. And yeah, I worked with them to make 2 videos for their new movie, Karate Kid Legends. And I mean, Sony be paying, bro. And just think about how insane that is. This kid was 17, uploading 40-second clips that he genuinely enjoyed making in his room. And after 2 months, a global movie franchise pays him to create edits for them. That's the difference between YouTube 10 years ago and YouTube now. Companies are genuinely starting to realize the potential through YouTube and are paying people the big dollars to execute. And to be honest, Shorts is one of the first places they are going to find high-quality creators to work with them. I genuinely believe this is the future, and this is exactly why I also think companies like Content Rewards are going to change everything. I had to make an edit from their edit, and it already had a bunch of quick cuts, so I basically had like no great footage to work with. Nah, I get you couldn't transform on your own pretty.
Much like at all. Now, exactly, bro. So it was actually really tough. I'm actually going to make an edit with like the full movie when I'm able to download it, just to prove to them that I can actually make a viral banger if I had enough footage. And what makes Bolt so successful in my eyes is the fact that he's been able to take this thing that so many kids have tried and turn it into something real that can actually be worth something long term. I mean, just look at what he had to say when I talked to him about the music exploit, which was pretty much a way for people to make extra money really fast on Shorts just a couple months ago. So many people see YouTube Shorts as a short-term grab, but that is the exact opposite to how Bolt is running everything. This is long-term. He's putting 110% effort into it. Then bro is low-key trying to become a billionaire. Bro, so hot take. If you're a channel that actually uses music to go viral, like your videos are sort of dependent on music, it actually might not be worth it. And so that's why I never went for it. I was considering it, like back when RPMs were high, and then I was like really close to signing a deal and RPMs dropped. So obviously I didn't go for it. But being able to use songs like Skyfall by Adele and some of these big viral hits, like actually taking my video from 10 million views to 20 million views. So you make more money like that. Like I feel like people might have been making more money for a couple months there, but let's talk in 10 years. Let's see who, no, that's it. Who's got the big brand and stuff. Yeah, that's for hire. Okay, nice. Which is also the exact same thing that people like Landon and Tim are doing as well. All of them are following the model of treating YouTube Shorts like a real business by actually creating trust with your audience and giving them content that actually stays with them. And the amount of money you can make doing that is insane. What do you think the most you've ever made in a month posting YouTube Shorts has been? Including like sponsorships? Yeah, including everything. 100K. Damn. And without sponsorships, let's say just pure AdSense from YouTube, what do you think the best month has been? A little over 50K. That's sick, bro. Congrats. In 1 month, Bolt made over $100,000, and half of that came from stuff that had nothing to do with YouTube AdSense, like brand deals, product placements, and entire sponsored segments. These things require trust. You can't slap these type of deals on these faceless channels because the people that watch are not going to care to buy. There's a big mistake I see everyone starting out making. To those people, I would say like, yo, stop switching niches, bro. Like, yeah. Stick to one thing, because you can actually go viral in any niche. You just have to have the skills for it. People are using niche analysis tools and stuff, and they're really tracking their competitors, and they're doing what works, and then, adding a little twist to it. And, that works for 95% of people. Like, that's great. But for me, I try to actually like ignore my competition. Like, especially in short form content, I just try to really tune out of that and stay original. It's like saying, oh, I'm going to be the next Elon Musk. I'm going to be the next this. No, you have to be like the first you. I actually asked this next question to every single person I interviewed, and they all said the exact same thing. Why do you think you've chosen to double down the most on YouTube Shorts? YouTube is probably the most fair algorithm there is. They pay. Like Instagram doesn't pay, and TikTok the pay isn't that great. Bro, YouTube, your videos are constantly getting views. So imagine like, bro, if I stopped posting, all my past videos would still be making me hundreds of dollars a day for, the next year. Like it's actually crazy. YouTube is by far the best way to make money with short form content. TikTok and Instagram are okay, but you're only ever going to make a fraction of the potential on YouTube because these guys could stop uploading tomorrow and still make tens of thousands of dollars a month for months to come. Do you think like people should genuinely start shorts now? Like, do you think it's a great time to start posting? Yeah, bro, it's a great time to start posting. You see the trend going towards short form and you see it going towards TV right now. So, pick one of the two and YouTube is on a rocket ship going to the moon right now. So
I've seen a bunch of stats recently, and it's just like YouTube is overtaking TikTok viewerships a day, and YouTube is taking over like Reels viewerships on short form. Like it seems like it's becoming like the A platform to go to. I'm not gonna lie. Start grinding.